Hi everyone! Today I have a swatch and review of Charmed Lacquer's Better Together collection. This collection has multiple finishes. There are 2 creams, 1 jelly, 2 shimmers, and 1 shimmer topper. I actually ordered this at the same time as the Desert Botanical collection, so if you want to see the unboxing, it is in the beginning of the Desert Botanical swatch and review. Let's just move right into the swatches. And starting out the swatches, we have Mr. Peanut Butter, which is a light beige cream polish. So this is a very easy to use, smooth, kind of self-leveling formula. I wore this in 2 coats. Mr. Peanut Butter was a little bit streaky on the first coat, but it was completely evened out by the second coat. So here's Mr. Peanut Butter in 2 coats under my ring light. It is a warm leaning beige. Next is Mrs. Jelly, and this is a jelly finish, which means that it is intentionally sheer. I will be showing this in 3 coats. So this is a cool toned purple jelly polish. You see it's very sheer on the first coat. I will probably end up wearing it in 2 coats for the most part, but I will be showing it in 3 just to get it to the full opacity. Also, 4 of these polishes have kind of squarish toast-shaped lids, and Mrs. Jelly, Mr. Peanut Butter, Avocado Toast, and Pan Con Chocolate, and I found those easy to work with. This is Mrs. Jelly in 3 coats. Next up is Creama de Chocolate, I think that's how you pronounce it. It is a red shimmery polish. I feel like it has a little bit of a brown base to it that you especially see in the first coat, although it could just be because I know that it's based on chocolate. I really like how the color turns out, and I actually had some sunlight when I was filming the swatches, so we get to see it in the sun. It kind of reminds me almost of like a burnt orange, but in red. So here is Creama de Chocolate in sunlight, and this is probably my second favorite of the collection. I will say it was a little hard to work with the cap though. Next up is my favorite of the collection. This is Pan Con Chocolate, which I think means bread with chocolate. And I love a contrasting shimmer, and this one's just really beautiful in my opinion. I ended up wearing this in 3 coats just to get to full opacity, but I think it was really worth it. It also kind of deepened that color. It is a bright, maybe hot or dark pink with a light blue shimmer. So this is probably my favorite out of the collection, and I am so glad that I had sunlight to show it in. This is Pan Con Chocolate in 3 coats. Next up is another cream. This one is a very light green cream finish called Avocado. So I found this particular cap very easy to hold while applying polish. And I was able to get Avocado Opaque in 2 coats. For some people it might actually be a 1-coater, but it was a tad streaky on the first coat for me. I really like this light green color. I found it like kind of a relaxing color. So here is Avocado in 2 coats. Last up is Avocado Toast, and it is a green and gold shimmer topper. I will be showing it over 3 different colors in the collection and then on its own. So here is avocado toast over avocado. For the most part, I see the gold more than green, but it really depends on what you're pairing it with. Here is avocado toast over Mr. Peanut Butter. This is avocado toast over Mrs. Jelly, and that's probably my favorite combination. And here's avocado toast on its own. I do use 3 coats, but it's never meant to be fully opaque. So I will probably use it in 1 or 2 coats for the most part. And here's avocado toast in the sunlight. I think it's a really beautiful shimmer topper. Hi, Editing Allie here with a tangent time. I did want to just pop in with my not great lighting and explain that I will be using Orly polishes for comparisons. I am not currently buying from Orly while they are partnering with J.K. Rowling because she puts a lot of her money and influence towards harming trans people, and I don't want any of my money to go towards that, even second or third hand. But I will still be using polishes that I bought before this, mostly just for comparisons. Danny Shout made a short video recently, and she was very concise and succinct with what was going on with Orly and their collaboration with J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter, so I am going to link that video. And thank you for sticking around for tangent time. I hope you are enjoying the video. It's comparison time, and I like to do my nails with the collection that I'm swatching. This time I did a little bit of nail art. I did a Skittle, and then for my accent nails, I did some dry marbling or smushy nail art. My thumb is showing up a lot. I broke my thumbnail, and so I'm only putting like the strengthening base coat on for right now until it grows a little bit more. I'm going to start with Mr. Peanut Butter, which this was, if I wasn't collecting all of the charms, all of the, the special caps, then I might not have gotten this just because the coffee shop collection had so many beiges. But I did end up liking this formula, and I like the color okay, although it is quite close to my skin tone. And I am comparing it to a charm lacquer from the coffee shop collection. This one is Caramel Frappe. And I'm comparing it to Orly's Chalet Getaway. So here in the middle is Mr. Peanut Butter from the Better Together collection. And here is Caramel Frappe. It is a little bit darker. And then on this side is the Chalet Getaway. And it again is a little bit darker and maybe has a little bit more of an orange undertone than the Caramel Frappe. So those, in my opinion, are 3 different beiges. And I'm comparing Avocado to China Glaze's Mystic Garden and Essie's Mint Candy Apple. So Avocado is here in the middle, and it is more of a yellow-green. Both of the other 2, the China Glaze and especially the Essie, have a lot more blue in them, especially when next to Avocado. Now I am comparing Mrs. Jelly to Essie's Playdate. Whoops, there we go. color-wise, they are very, very similar, but they are a different finish. So here is Essie's Playdate, and here is Mrs. Jelly. They're both in 2 coats, and Mrs. Jelly, being a jelly polish, has kind of a squishier look to it, and it will be slightly more sheer than Essie's Playdate. But if you're only looking at color and you already have one, you probably don't need the other. And next I am comparing Pan Con Chocolate with Gorgeous by Orly. These ones are quite similar. It's another one that I would say if you already have one, you might not want to buy the other one. The main difference that I see is that once it dries down, the Charm Lacquer is just like a touch darker. These are both in 2 coats, by the way. And the Charm Lacquer also has a little bit bigger particle shimmer. Trying to see if I could make my camera focus. So the Orly Gorgeous gives it a bit more of a pearlized look. But of course the chocolate spread on toast is cuter. It's just how it is. But yeah, they both have that blue shimmer, and they're both a kind of a, what I would call a berry pink. Or like maybe a fuchsia. But very pretty. I do love a contrasting shimmer. Next up, I am comparing Creama de Chocolate to the Orly Breathable Cranberry Believe It and Cracked Polish's #1 Stunner. So in the bottle, the Charm Lacquer looks closer to the Orly Breathable than it does to the Cracked Polish. But once it's swatched out and dried, it kind of lands in the middle. Like besides I just put in the middle. Here's the Orly Breathable Cranberry Believe It. Creama de Chocolate in the middle. And #1 Stunner over here on this side. Cranberry Believe It dries out a brighter red. Like more like a candy apple red or a fire truck red with a shimmer finish. The Charm Lacquer and the Cracked Polish both have a bit more of a brown or orange undertone to them. Although the Cracked Polish is kind of a darker and it leans more brown or orange, and it has a little bit of a multi-chrome shift to the shimmer. So in my opinion, these are 3 different looking polishes. The Cracked Polish and the Charm Lacquer are closer though, in my opinion. For Avocado Toast, which is the shimmer topper, I put white polish down on one side of these swatches and black on the other so that it shows how they look over light and dark colors. In the middle is Avocado Toast. On one side is LA Colors, what's this one called? Asteroid, and it's part of their color shifting toppers. And then on this side is Pretty Woman Pisces. So both the Pretty Woman and the LA Colors have a bit of a jelly color in them, whereas the Cracked Polish comes out more clear, which you can only really see over the white. Over the black side, the shimmer is all very, very similar. So if you don't want to have a red or I guess a pink or a blue tint, but this kind of gold to green shimmer, I can't really tell apart over the black. So what did you think of the Better Together collection? I really enjoy it. My only real criticism or complaint is just that we already have 3 beige, like in a pretty close amount of time from one brand, but I love them all and they're all very, very cute. So just, unless you're collecting the charms, then you probably just want to decide which beige works best for you. Anyway, I hope that the comparisons and the swatches were helpful and that you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.